In the charming city of Charleston, South Carolina, nestled amidst picturesque landscapes, there once lived a family that captured the imagination of the community. The Carlisle family was well known and loved, their home a hub of laughter and warmth. Mr. and Mrs. Carlisle were devoted parents to their two children, Emma and Ethan. The family of four seemed inseparable, and their bond was the envy of many. One fateful night, however, everything changed. A terrible storm swept through Charleston, leaving destruction in its wake. As the city braced for the impact, the Carlisle family retreated to the safety of their home. But when morning arrived, there was an eerie silence surrounding the Carlisle residence. Neighbors and friends rushed to the scene, only to find the house eerily deserted. The Carlisle family had vanished without a trace. Despite extensive search efforts, no sign of them was ever found. The house, now empty and forsaken, became a haunting reminder of the family that had mysteriously disappeared. Years passed, and the story of the Carlisle family became a local legend whispered among Charleston residents. The abandoned house stood as a testament to the unsolved mystery, shrouded in rumors of paranormal encounters and chilling apparitions. Some believed that the house was cursed, while others thought it was simply a tragic tale of a family torn apart by unknown forces. On a typical Friday night, my friends, John, Emily, Mark, and I were walking down the dimly lit streets of Charleston. Laughter filled the air as we reminisced about the fun we had just had at a lively neighborhood party. The night was young, and our spirits were high as we continued our leisurely stroll, enjoying each other's company under the soft glow of gas lamps. As we meandered along, we spotted the abandoned Carlisle house at the end of the street. Its presence seemed to beckon us with a sense of mystery and intrigue, just like it had for countless others before us. The stories surrounding the place added to its allure, the peculiar history of the Carlisle family, who had vanished without a trace, leaving the house untouched and forgotten. Curiosity getting the better of us, John proposed that we explore the old house. Emily and Mark were hesitant at first, but the excitement of the moment and our youthful, daring nature persuaded them to join in. We approached the house, and the moonlight cast an eerie glow on its weathered facade. "Are you sure about this?" Emily asked, her voice tinged with apprehension. "It looks creepy." "Come on, Em, where's your sense of adventure?" John teased, giving her a reassuring smile. "It'll be fun, I promise." Mark chuckled, adding, "Yeah, what's the worst that could happen? We're just checking out an old house." We cautiously pushed open the creaky front door, and a rush of musty air greeted us as we stepped inside. Dust particles danced in the beams of the flashlights from our phones as we explored each room, and the old floorboards groaned under our weight. The atmosphere was both eerie and fascinating, like stepping into a time capsule frozen in the past. In the living room, we discovered remnants of the Carlisle family's life. Old furniture, abandoned toys, and family photographs that had begun to fade with time. The sight of the pictures brought a sense of melancholy, knowing that these were once cherished memories of a family that had vanished so mysteriously. As we continued our exploration, we stumbled upon an old chest filled with vintage clothing. Emily and I couldn't resist trying on a few pieces, playfully posing in front of an old dusty mirror. Mark grabbed a discarded hat and pretended to be a detective, making us all burst into laughter. We climbed the stairs to the upper floors, each step evoking echoes of the house's past. Our footsteps seemed to resonate with the laughter and joy that once filled these rooms. The air felt lighter, as if the house was reliving its happier memories through our presence. We headed to the main room. As we cautiously pushed open the creaky door, the musty scent of aged wood and dust greeted our senses. Moonlight filtered through tattered curtains, casting faint patterns on the peeling wallpaper adorned with intricate floral designs. The room appeared frozen in time, with remnants of its past splendor scattered around. A handcrafted candle stood in the center of the room. The old floorboards groaned under our weight as we stepped inside, echoing with each footfall. As the night went on, we exchanged ghost stories and made up our own, playfully scaring each other. The initial fear we had felt at the start of our adventure was replaced by camaraderie and a sense of shared mischief. But then, as we gathered in one of the rooms, the laughter died down as we heard a distant thud. The air felt heavier, and an unsettling silence fell upon us. "Who's there?" John called out, his voice quivering with fear. There was no response, only the echo of our own rapid breathing. We exchanged nervous glances and mustered the courage to investigate. Slowly, we crept towards the room, our flashlights casting eerie shadows on the walls. As we entered, our hearts pounded in our chests, expecting to find something terrifying. To our surprise and relief, the room was empty. There was no sign of anyone or anything that could have caused the noise. It was as if the sound had been a product of our imagination, a manifestation of the fear that gripped us. Shaking off the unease, we returned to the previous room, but as we stepped inside, our blood ran cold. The candle was lit. "Did any of you light the candle?" Mark asked, his voice quivering with anxiety. We all shook our heads in denial, knowing that none of us had touched it. The unsettling feeling intensified, and our minds raced with thoughts of what could have happened. Just then we heard it, the unmistakable sound of footsteps coming from the stairs. Slow, deliberate footsteps, as if someone was ascending the staircase one careful step at a time. Without a moment's hesitation, we decided it was time to leave. Lost in uncertainty, we found ourselves trapped, unsure of our next move. Should we dare approach the eerie staircase and peer into the darkness, or linger in the foreboding stillness, waiting for an unknown presence to come our way? With trembling hearts, we mustered the courage to confront the sinister unknown that awaited us above the stairs, the only escape route. As we neared the staircase, a haunting silence consumed the surroundings, and we were left with an unsettling emptiness. We felt a shiver down our backs as we came to the realization that whatever had been lurking there had completely disappeared. Fearing the unseen, we made the chilling decision to descend into the first floor. But before we could reach the bottom, the room's door was slammed shut, and as we turned our heads back to see what it was, we froze in terror. Right outside the door, bathed in the faint moonlight, stood a human silhouette. It had not been there moments ago when we were inside the room. Panic surged through our veins as we stared at the ominous figure, unable to comprehend how it had appeared so silently and quickly. Its presence seemed to exude a malevolence that sent shivers down our spines. "Run!" Emily screamed, breaking the spell of fear that held us captive. We turned and fled, our footsteps echoing frantically through the dimly lit corridors. The once playful atmosphere had given way to an overwhelming sense of dread, and we could feel an unseen force closing in on us. With hearts pounding, we finally found the front door. As we rushed outside, the night air felt like a breath of freedom, and the weight of fear began to lift. We huddled together, trying to process the inexplicable events that had just occurred. Looking back at the abandoned house, we couldn't shake the feeling that it held secrets far darker than any ghost story we had heard. The encounter with the mysterious silhouette left an indelible mark on our souls, reminding us that some mysteries were not meant to be solved. As we made our way back home, we promised never to speak of that night again, each of us silently grappling with the horror we had experienced. The abandoned house, with its unseen terrors, would forever haunt our memories, a reminder that some places should remain undisturbed, and that curiosity could lead to more than we bargained for. In the quiet and remote town of Guayana, nestled deep within the heart of Venezuela, a chilling tale of fear and mystery unfolds. With its winding streets and timeless architecture, Guayana appears untouched by the hands of time, a place where the echoes of history seem to whisper through the air. It is within the shadows of this seemingly ordinary town that the unsettling events of our story take place, forever leaving their mark on the souls of those who dare to listen. My name is Carlos, and I'm here to share a spine-chilling tale that my sister Sophia and I inherited from our grandparents. This chilling narrative traces back to two young adults who worked for a mining company near Guayana. Every week, they embarked on a daunting 2-hour journey back home, escaping the isolation of the mining camp where they resided. Sophia and Carlos, our grandparents, were winding down after a long week of labor, deciding to pull over on the side of the road for a much-needed break. The night was eerily silent, the darkness seemingly untouched by time. Exhaustion clung to them, their eyes heavy with fatigue. It was during this pause that a distant plea for help seemed to drift through the air, a faint cry carried on the breeze. Fueled by a combination of concern and curiosity, they ventured further and discovered a decaying old house lurking in the shadows nearby. The beam of their flashlight revealed the sagging structure, an embodiment of forgotten history. Just as they were about to continue on their journey, a blood-curdling scream shattered the silence, echoing from within the heart of the desolate house. Despite the fear that gripped them, an unexplainable curiosity drew them closer to the source of the terrifying sound. Guided by trepidation, they entered the old house, its dilapidated state a testament to the passage of time. As their flashlight flickered, revealing peeling wallpaper and worn furniture, the air was thick with the weight of decades gone by. With each step, the atmosphere grew heavier, resonating with an overwhelming sense of unease. Their exploration led them to a concealed room, a secret chamber hidden beneath a trapdoor. The temperature dropped, and their breaths formed mist in the chilling darkness. Inside the room, an assortment of disturbing photographs and newspaper clippings hinted at a series of mysterious disappearances over the years. The more they delved into the room's contents, the clearer it became that the house harbored a sinister secret. Their attempts to escape were thwarted as the door locked itself with a resounding click. Panic surged through them, their desperate pounding on the door echoing their racing hearts. Trapped within the confined space of the room, a sense of desperation washed over Sophia and Carlos. The air grew tense as they frantically searched for a way out, their eyes scanning every inch of the room for a hidden exit. Their fingers brushed against a stack of handwritten letters tucked away in a corner, each one revealing the harrowing experiences of past visitors who had also fallen prey to the house's sinister grip. These letters described inexplicable phenomena and a growing sense of unease that had plagued others before them. Sophia and Carlos began to piece together a disturbing pattern. The house had a way of exploiting people's deepest fears and vulnerabilities. The more they read, the clearer it became that the terror lurking within these walls was not supernatural, but a twisted manifestation of the human psyche. Driven by desperation, they decided to explore further, their breath held in anticipation. In the back of the house, they stumbled upon an open door that led to the outside. A gust of cold wind greeted them, offering a temporary respite from the oppressive atmosphere that had enveloped them. With a newfound surge of hope, they rushed through the door, finally breaking free from the clutches of the sinister house. No sooner had they escaped, a deafening explosion resonated through the night air. Turning back, their hearts raced as they witnessed the windows of the old house shattering into a cascade of glass fragments. The force of the explosion rocked the very foundation of the building, sending shockwaves through the ground beneath their feet. Without wasting a moment, they scrambled into their car, the engine roaring to life as they sped away from the nightmarish place they had narrowly escaped. The road ahead seemed to stretch infinitely, a path leading away from the horrors they had endured. Their breaths came in ragged gasps as they glanced back, watching the old house recede into the distance. As the miles passed, the realization of their escape began to sink in. The nightmare was behind them, but its memory would forever linger.